quiet apartment in Midleton, County Cork, a normal Friday afternoon, and a 999 call that would soon become one of the most chilling pieces of evidence heard inside the Cork courtroom. Because the man making that call said something very specific. He told the emergency services that his partner had stabbed herself. But when paramedics arrived at the apartment, what they saw told a very different story. And today, that moment sits at the center of a murder trial that has captured attention across Ireland. The man on trial is Adam Corcoran. He's accused of murdering his partner, Dean Walsh, inside their apartment at John Berry House in Midleton. The event the court is now examining happened on August 2nd, 2024, and what unfolded inside that apartment has become the focus of powerful courtroom testimony. Dana Walsh was a young woman and a mother of two. She lived with Adam Corcoran in the Midleton apartment. From the outside, neighbors described the building as quiet and ordinary, the kind of place where most day pass without anything unusual happening. But on that August afternoon, everything changed. Shortly after 4 in the afternoon, emergency services received a 999 call. The caller identified himself as Adam Corcoran. His voice sounded panicked. According to the recording later played in court, he told the operator that his partner had stabbed herself in the stomach. He said she was bleeding heavily. He repeatedly asked for help to arrive as quickly as possible. At one point, he told the call taker he did not know what to do. He said she might already be dead. He also told the operator that Diane had been going through a lot, and he begged for someone to come immediately, even asking if a patrol car could arrive. The emergency operator stayed on the line as the situation unfolded. Ambulance crew were sent toward the apartment building in Midleton, but nothing could prepare them for what they would find inside. When paramedics entered the apartment, they later described the scene in court as extremely disturbing. Paramedic Allen told the jury that the situation inside the apartment was chaotic. There was a very large amount of blood. He also said Adam Corcoran had blood on him when they arrived. According to Allen, Corcoran appeared to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. But the scene was not only disturbing, it was also dangerous. Smoke was coming from the kitchen area. Something on the cooker was burning, and inside the apartment there were aerosol cans placed on the top of the cooker. During the incident, one of those aerosol cans exploded. Paramedics immediately became concerned about the risk of a large explosion. Allen told the court that at the time he remembered the Gruesome explosion in Donegal, which had been widely reported in the news. His concern was that if a gas cooker was involved, the situation could quickly become far more serious. There were other apartments in the building, and if an explosion occurred, many people could be at risk. Another paramedic, Alan Burke, also described what he called an explosion risk inside the apartment. A third paramedic said there was an active fire on top of the cooker. He told the court that aerosol cans were sitting on top of the cooker and that one of them flew across the room. At that moment, paramedics made a difficult decision. They believed the environment was becoming unsafe, and they also believed the victim could not be helped. When they checked Dean Walsh for sign of life, they found none. According to Allen's testimony, it was clear that attempting any rescue would not change the outcome. She had no breathing and no pulse. Emergency crews were forced to leave the apartment because of the growing fire risk. But one conversation stayed with the paramedics. Later inside the ambulance, Adam Corcoran spoke with Allen. According to the paramedics' testimony, Corcoran said he loved Diana. He also said that she had harmed herself in the past, and he said something else. He said he had been planning to propose to her. That statement became one of the many moments discussed in court as the trial began to unfold. But the timeline of that afternoon does not end there. Another key witness in the case was a neighbor named Oswin Pinto. Pinto lived in the other apartment inside John Berry's house. Early that same day, around 2 in the afternoon, Pinto saw Adam Corcoran near the apartment door. Corcoran appeared to be having a normal conversation with someone inside the apartment. He was holding an umbrella. Nothing about the situation appeared unusual. There was no shouting, no signs of distress. Just a normal moment during an ordinary afternoon. But about 2 hours later, Pinto received a call telling him the building alarm was going off. He returned to the building shortly after 4 in the afternoon. When he arrived, he saw Adam Corcoran across the street. Corcoran was speaking on the phone. The two men entered the building together. Pinto later told the court that Corcoran's face appeared slightly bruised. The details stood out to him. After entering the building, Pinto checked his own apartment, but a short time later he walked back toward Corcoran's apartment. What he heard next was sobbing and crying. When he looked inside, he saw blood on the floor. He also saw Diana Walsh lying on the ground. Adam Corcoran was beside her. According to Pinto's testimony, Corcoran was still on the phone. At one moment, Corcoran asked him if he thought Diana was dead. Pinto told the court he did not know. He said he tried to look for a fire extinguisher, but Corcoran told him to leave the apartment, so he left. Later in court, during cross-examination by the defense, Pinto was asked if he touched the victim. He said he did not. He told the court that something about the situation felt wrong because he had recently moved to Ireland. He said he felt it was safer not to interfere. He believed there was more to the situation. Now, all of those moments, the 999 call, the paramedics' testimony, the neighbor's accounts, are parts of the evidence being heard by a jury. The trial is taking place at the Central Criminal Court sitting in Cork. The case is being heard by a jury made up of 8 men and 4 women. Presiding over the trial is Justice Siobhan Langford. Prosecutors have presented the emergency call recording along with testimony from paramedics and witnesses who were present that day. The court is examining what happened inside the apartment and how the events unfolded. Adam Corcoran is charged with the murder of Diana Walsh and with arson of the apartment. He denies the charges, and under Irish law, he remains presumed innocent unless proven guilty. The trial is continuing as the jury listens to evidence from witnesses and experts. Cases like this deeply affect local communities. Midleton is a town where many people know each other. When something like this happens, it is felt across the entire area. Neighbors, friends, and families are left trying to understand how such a tragedy could happen inside an ordinary apartment building. For investigators and the court, the focus now is on the facts. Witness testimony, emergency call recording, statements given to investigators. Each piece of information helps build a clearer picture of what happened that afternoon. But in the end, the decision will belong to the jury. They will listen to every witness. They will review the evidence, and they will decide whether the prosecution has proven the charges beyond reasonable doubt. Until that moment, the case remains an ongoing trial, and the story of what happened inside that Midleton apartment is still unfolding inside the courtroom. For the community in Cork, the hope now is that the trial will provide answers, because behind every headline and every courtroom testimony is a human story, a young woman whose life ended suddenly, a family searching for justice, and a community trying to understand what happened on that quiet afternoon in Midleton. If you want fast updates on Irish true crime, subscribe. We cover everything before it hits mainstream headlines. Thank you.